that it's either drugs or mental health decline. It just started getting weird. This dude aged like dry leather over 10 years. Holy shit. These comments perfectly summarize the way people now feel about the perfume influencer Jeremy Fragrance, who went from having the appearance of a perfectly structured GQ model to looking like this in a matter of months. Where he once won the Consumer Choice Award for the best vlog at the 2018 Fragrance Foundation Awards, he's now making bizarre, borderline uncomfortable videos that test the limits of what should even be allowed on YouTube.
Today I did not off before my video, which I normally do, but I keep my to have a maximum impact on my face. I use this technique in certain videos, but if you overdo it, it's too much. So you gotta handle and understand your energy. It gives you ultimate power. It gives you the strength to convince people.
And if that wasn't bad enough, he was recently caught straight up sexually harassing women as well.
Seeing your face and seeing you talk. Totally a boner in my pants, but I'm not going to show it.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be diving into the deserved and strange downfall of Jeremy Fragrance. How he captivated audiences during the peak of his career, why his personality ended up doing a complete 180, and how he's been getting increasingly desperate while trying to find a girlfriend. But you know what I'm desperate for? For you to subscribe. So go ahead and hit that big subscribe button and let's get on with the video. The rise of Jeremy Fragrance is easily one of the most unexpected success stories on YouTube. Jeremy, real name Daniel Stradinsky, never really planned on becoming a YouTuber. He wanted to be a rock star instead. He tried his luck with a German boy band called Part 6 between 2008 and 2010. And when that didn't take off, he went solo, releasing his own single in 2011, titled All of Me. But when his music career fizzled out completely, he turned to something completely different. He created his YouTube channel in 2014 and uploaded his very first video comparing perfumes of all things.
Lady Killer scents, and you know the stories about these two fragrances.
Surprisingly, it worked. The video ended up amassing over 500k views to date, putting Jeremy on many people's radar. That early success also gave him the confidence to keep going. Jeremy was working as a part-time model at the time, which became the core part of his content at the time as well. But what truly set him apart on YouTube was his uncanny ability to vividly describe every scent, breaking it down in a way anyone could understand. Armed with his trademark spin and dashing suits and charismatic personality, Jeremy would help his audience visualize every scent by assigning personalities to them.
The daring category, okay? This is your daring fragrance, and ladies love a man that is bold, that is daring.
He mixed that talent with fast-paced list-style videos that hit the YouTube algorithm just right, helping him go viral twice in his first year, with one video hitting 1.8 million and another crossing 1.1 million views. As one of the comments on his video puts it, "This guy can make you hear smells." Fast forward a couple years, and Jeremy had built a loyal audience consisting of mostly men looking to up their fragrance game. He saw this demographic and formulated a plan to maximize engagement, and this took the form of him bringing in female models on camera and having them test different scents and pick their favorites for specific occasions. This worked like a charm, with the female approval angle drawing mass appeal and helping his videos explode in views. He was sitting at over 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube and over 10 million followers on TikTok in just a few years. But what kept people watching wasn't just his energy or the models, it was the raw, unfiltered way he ran his channel. Sometimes he'd just walk off mid-video to open the door without even cutting between.
That was really hardcore. I gotta open the door real quick. 1 second, guys. Okay, guys. Received some new samples.
Other times, he would purposely play into his character to entertain his audience.
I will smash my head into the wall now, but not too strong. Okay.
But his fans would stay glued to the screen all the times, fascinated by Jeremy's passion, energy, and charisma. As one viewer put it, Man, I've never met a dude more passionate about fragrances in my life. That was ridiculously entertaining. Unfortunately, just when Jeremy was at the top of his game and had everyone convinced that he was one of the most genuine guys on YouTube, his mask started to slip. The first cracks in Jeremy's wholesome image started showing all the way back in 2017, when he asked his fans to donate to his Patreon so that he could afford a new laptop for editing his videos. Thousands of loyal fans chipped in, sending him money so he could supposedly upgrade his setup and improve video quality. But just a few weeks later, Jeremy shocked everyone by dropping a new YouTube video titled My New Car. In it, he proudly showed off his brand new Ferrari, filming the entire buying process and then taking a victory lap in it, all while his fans were convinced that he couldn't even afford a new laptop without their help. And as you might imagine, fans were not happy, with one disappointed viewer writing, "He literally begged for donations and then went and bought a Ferrari with them. It's sad and disingenuous. I hope he looks in the mirror one day and sees what he has become." Unfortunately, this comment and all of the others like it didn't see the light of day for very long, because instead of addressing the backlash, Jeremy quietly deleted all the negative comments while continuing to flaunt his new Ferrari like nothing happened. And somehow, the outrage faded, his fans slowly moved on, and the whole thing got buried eventually. However, Jeremy wasn't done digging himself into a deeper hole. The next big controversy arrived with the launch of his own fragrance brand, Fragrance One, at the start of 2019. According to Jeremy, the goal behind the brand was simple. Instead of trying to navigate the fragrance jungle, we give you a very clear answer. Wear this when doing that. It's simple and effective. And as it turned out, he'd already set himself up for major success by collaborating with the legendary perfumer Alberto Morillas, the man responsible for creating several iconic scents for major brands like Calvin Klein, Dolce & Gabbana, Giorgio Armani, and many others. With his help, Jeremy devised the formula for his first perfume, and once completed, made the big announcement on YouTube.
So this will be called Office for Men. It is our very first fragrance, the best office fragrance currently on the market in my eyes.
And even though he was now working with one of the biggest names in the perfume world, Jeremy wanted his fans to believe that he hadn't forgotten where he came from, emphasized by what he claimed to be the major selling point of his brand and perfumes.
I have tried to find the best solution for you to skip the jungle of fragrances when you go into a fragrance store. Oh, which fragrance should I take? Does this last long? Is this mass appealing? Do I get compliments? What fragrance should I buy?
And thus started his Kickstarter campaign, where he asked his loyal followers for help in turning his dream into a full-fledged business. The target of the campaign was to raise $25,000, which was hit within minutes. But the fans kept chipping in, and by the time the Kickstarter ended, Jeremy had raised nearly $800,000, making this the biggest crowd-funded fragrance in history. With his dream finally within reach, Jeremy kicked off an aggressive marketing campaign. Now, according to his early plans, the Office for Men fragrance was supposed to be valued at somewhere around €39 or $45. This would have kept his promise of offering a cheaper alternative to luxury perfumes. But just before launch day, Jeremy suddenly announced that the perfume would actually be priced at €140. Basically, the same price as high-end luxury brands. The backlash and accompanying scammer label was immediate, but he didn't seem to care. You'd think that would have been a wake-up call, especially since his entire brand was built on the support of those same fans. But instead of backing down, Jeremy ended up nearly doubling the price of all his fragrances a couple of months later, inviting even more hate from his audience and turning his once loyal fan base against him. What made this move even more bizarre was how Jeremy chose to justify the insane price increase.
And I'm going to tell you now why the price of my fragrance will be tripled soon. You gotta know, fragrances to me are like an art form. Fashion is an art form, art obviously is also an art form, and some cars to the extent are also an art form. And what does a car manufacturer do? They produce a very small amount of cars to make them exclusive.
And while that reasoning might have sounded convincing initially, it completely fell apart when Jeremy himself went on TikTok to brag about how cheap his manufacturing process was.
The production costs of a fragrance. First, you buy the glass bottle. The glass bottle is about 50 cents, 50. Then you got the sprayer right here. This is another 50 cents. So we're at a $1. Then you got the cap. This is another 50 cents. Then you got the box around it, which is another 50 cents. So you're at $2 now for this empty stuff. You need the juice inside. The juice is the most expensive one. It's about $3. So 3 plus 2 is $5. And then you pay for the whole packaging. So it must be filled and everything. So that's another $1. So about $6 in total, and you have a finished fragrance.
This sparked a new, even more intense wave of backlash against Jeremy, with people leaving tons of negative reviews on his products and website. There were also several horror stories surfacing of people paying full price for one of his perfumes, but the bottle never arriving or being smashed into pieces on arrival. But as bad as scamming and disappointing his own audience was, Jeremy somehow managed to make things even worse, all in an attempt to expand his public image and connections. It all started in December 2023, when Jeremy decided to attend an event hosted by the New York Republican Club, where Donald Trump was the main speaker. At the event, he posted several Instagram stories with controversial figures, including David Bendals, 38-year-old editor-in-chief of the Deutschland Courier, also known for his ties to the right-wing populist Alternative Party for Germany, Alexander Klein, a 31-year-old YouTuber and prominent activist in the German branch of the identification movement, and the Austrian politician and TV commentator Gerald Gross. Though, unlike his previous controversies, he couldn't ignore this one even if he wanted to. Within days of these images appearing on his socials, he lost all of his existing brand deals and endorsements, with brands like Sky Deutschland and Aldi North publicly dropping all their content and ads with him. Sky even went as far as pulling his ongoing documentary, which had been airing since October, stating, "We clearly distance ourselves from any far-right content or statements." Even the high-profile publishing house, Hill Verlag, which had previously released a book about him, announced that they would no longer work with him. According to Jeremy, this incident also cost him a major deal, making him lose out on potential millions.
I should have had a big money deal with a German fragrance chain, which would have given me about 300,000 to up to more than $1 million. And it just exploded because I was in a show where I took pictures with multiple people, and one of those guys...
But here's the thing. These brands didn't just drop him because of the photos. They did it because Jeremy himself had changed. And this change perhaps should have been Odoo Project to better manage his channel and business. This video is sponsored by Odoo, the all-in-one business management platform for all kinds of business needs, such as invoicing, accounting, projects, inventory, websites, and everything else an entrepreneur could dream of. One of their apps, Odoo Project, allows you to set up different projects with custom deadlines and milestones. Under the project, you have different views with their own benefits. Kanban views show the tasks in card form with custom stages, like research, script, edit, upload. Gantt view gives an overview of who's working on what, task dependencies, and task timelines. You can add tasks, assign an owner, set priority, tags, and a deadline. Within each task, you can add rich descriptions with tables, images, videos, and checklists, breaking complex work into subtasks. You can collaborate in real time with the built-in chatter, tag teammates, send emails, add notes, attach files, and schedule activities like to-dos, calls, meetings, and reminders so nothing slips through the cracks. Start using Odoo Project today. Your first app is free for life with unlimited hosting and support. You can access Odoo's other apps starting from €19.90 per month. With that being said, thank you Odoo, and let's get back into the video. You see, one of the biggest reasons Jeremy had blown up in the first place, more than any other fragrance influencer, was his suave, confident, and put-together personality. His sharp suits, perfectly combed hair, and easy charisma made him feel like an authority on attraction. It was a major part of his appeal, and his audience let him know about it, with comments like, "I'm very straight, but he's one handsome dude," and "Bro, you can wear sunblock and get the best compliments ever." But by 2023, that image had completely fallen apart. The shift started subtly, with Jeremy hyping himself up as the best fragrance influencer in the world after allegedly finding religion.
I'm Jeremy Fragrance, the #1 fragrance icon that follows the teachings of Jesus. Nobody has done what I have done in the fragrance industry. I'm the best in the category of fragrances. I'm Jeremy Fragrance, the #1 fragrance icon that follows the teachings of Jesus.
This still seemed somewhat normal, considering how almost every influencer hypes themselves as the best at some point in their career. Like me, I'm the best. But then everywhere. From the description of his YouTube channel to the caption of all of his videos on YouTube, but that was still nothing compared to the change in his appearance. He started dressing exclusively in all white outfits, coupled with a large cross chain hanging around his neck. His hair looked noticeably drier and more brittle, while his face felt like it had aged 10 years in the span of a few months, capped off by his strangely hollow eyes. And this new look came hand in hand with a weird shift in personality, making Jeremy feel erratic and unpredictable in his newer videos.
With the Special Forces of Pakistan. I'm the guy that was nominated twice for the Fragrance Award and won it twice. I'm the number one, I'm the best, I'm the champion. I'm Jeremy Fragrance, the number one fragrance icon that follows the teachings of Jesus.
It didn't take long for people to start comparing him to Patrick Bateman in The American Psycho, especially after he started posting pictures like this on his Instagram. But despite all the mockery and memes, Jeremy still decided to go all in on short-form content. For example, he'd often post the same TikTok 5 times in a row as algorithm bait, see which version performed the best, and then delete the others. As time passed, he started chasing reactions, doing stranger and wilder stunts to stay in the spotlight. What began as harmless, slightly goofy bits on YouTube soon escalated to odd, borderline uncomfortable TikToks like this bizarre dance with an unknown woman. Things became so strange that his audience started wondering if he had started taking some really strong drugs. As one viewer jokingly put it, "I think he doesn't only sniff fragrances at this point." And they might have had a point, because Jeremy's sniffing content soon spiraled into something completely unhinged.
This is literally my favorite smell. You know what this is? It's ghee.
His videos of sniffing Nutella specifically became one of the most bizarrely popular memes on the internet during that time.
I used to be addicted to this. I'm smelling this now for the first time since a long time.
However, that still had nothing on his reaction to sniffing pizza.
Okay, let's smell it. I want to have sex with this pizza.
And his comments on milk.
So good. No wonder they say that goat milk is the most similar to mother's milk. It smells so gorgeous.
Which unsurprisingly led to a wave of memes comparing him to Homelander from The Boys. But while some viewers found it all hilarious, his longtime fans started growing genuinely concerned about his content, which had gone from him offering expert advice on perfumes to absolute slop of him doing weird dances and having crazy reactions to smelling different things. Meanwhile, the drug abuse rumors only grew louder, especially after he moved to Miami, with a commenter stating, "Moved to Miami and became addicted to drugs is far more accurate than became religious." That concern only grew deeper when Jeremy began posting shirtless videos of himself. Sure, he still had a fair bit of muscle, but he still looked noticeably skinnier, dehydrated compared to his body from just a few years ago. But whenever his audience would confront him about his deteriorating health, he'd come up with the same narcissistic response that bordered on extreme denial.
I got the six-pack, I got the good vibes, I got the red Ferrari, I got the golden Rolex, I'm a millionaire, I love what I do, I say fuck you and your f***ing ass if I want to say that.
And when it came to the drug rumors, he'd completely deny them, claiming that everything people saw on camera was an act to get more views.
I know what works, of course. I know that the jumping energy person works a lot, and I do it without any drugs. It's very good for me.
Have you ever done drugs?
No, never in my life I've taken any drugs except drinking alcohol.
He even claimed that the rumors didn't bother him, but still somehow ended up making a video trying to debunk them once again. However, he only managed to affirm everyone's suspicions, as he walks down the street shirtless eating protein powder off lettuce in a cardboard box. But as bad as this might have seemed, his longtime fans were still relieved that this new erratic attitude hadn't invaded his long-form videos. Until it did. Out of nowhere, his YouTube fragrance review videos started turning weirdly sexual as well, with plenty of inappropriate and weird comments about the perfumes he was discussing.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
This was highlighted the most in one of his most famous videos reviewing Perry Ellis 360 Red, where he'd start off by making some weird comments about the perfume.
And the last one I don't talk so much about is Perry Ellis 360 Red. I love it, man. It's the of the fragrance industry.
Then go off on a tangent that showed his flawed mental state.
And yeah, it's not so funny actually. Still don't know how to talk about the topic of masturbating. It's difficult, man. I do it, but I don't come.
And eventually reveal how depressed he really was.
All right, ultimately, of course, I want to have a girlfriend and a wife. Turning that girlfriend into a wife and have great kids. So that's Perry Ellis 360 Red.
There were several other notable instances as well, where he would make the weirdest comments that seemed to come out of nowhere.
And you know what I just did 5 minutes ago? I stimulated my... Not that I came, but I was on my Instagram, I was chatting with girls and blah.
And some of them were so out of place that his viewers started questioning how this was still allowed on YouTube.
Today I did not jump off before my video, which I normally do, but I keep my semen to have a maximum impact in my face. I use this technique in certain videos, but if you overdo it, it's too much. So you gotta handle and understand your sexual energy. Gives you ultimate power. It gives you the strength to convince people.
Behavior like that turned Jeremy from one of the biggest authorities on fragrances to a total joke, often dubbed the strangest man on the internet. By this point, most people were more amused by his antics than anything. Sure, he'd lost most of his credibility, but he wasn't unredeemable. That was until he sparked a bigger controversy that changed everything. And this time, it wasn't funny at all. For years, the fragrance community had brushed off Jeremy's sexual comments as jokes, his odd way of keeping people entertained. Sure, his comments about loneliness and not having a girlfriend were slightly concerning, but most people didn't think much of them, until Jeremy ended up getting exposed by fellow model and influencer Sarah Harris, who posted screenshots of her conversation with him on Instagram. These screenshots showed Jeremy trying and failing to flirt with her by sending messages like, "You woman, you know what I do with you. After we have our dinner in a fine restaurant together, and you wear your dress in that evening, you know what we do after then, Sarah." And when Sarah tried to shut down his advances, he replied with an even stronger message that crossed the line completely. "It will happen intensely, babe. You will wear a pretty black dress and show your like you always show. I go with you to restroom and you and open my business suit. You start my then for 2 minutes. Sarah, to her credit, kept her composure, simply replying, "That's a dream that you have, it will never happen." It was pretty clear that Jeremy had wrongly assumed that just because she wore revealing outfits should be easy to charm. However, when she rejected him again and again, he didn't take it too well. And that's when his messages turned from creepy to outright disrespectful. You are not 18 years old and you know time is passing. Use your time now wisely and choose the best people for you, for the future, and for big you give. I'm sure you know which great men deserve great things from you. At this point, Sarah became annoyed as well, rightfully clapping back with a few insults of her own, which undoubtedly bruised Jeremy's ego, leading to him lashing out, stating, "Have fun in life. The clock is ticking. You should demand now to get your validation back that I took from you." Once these messages hit the internet, his reputation went into freefall. The same people who felt bad for him now wanted nothing to do with him, leaving comments like, "Dude is a certified effing clown," and "I definitely believe he's pressured girls plenty of times. He's a total lunatic and narcissist." Now, you'd think that that type of public humiliation would make anyone take a step back and reflect, but not Jeremy. He ended up doubling down instead. This time, he'd grown tired of struggling to find a girlfriend, so he started holding auditions on his Instagram.
So I'm looking for a girlfriend. You must be Christian and you must be under 32.
And when he actually found women who met his requirements, he'd add them on Snapchat of all places. But not long after, even the women who actually wanted to talk to him had to come up and expose him for the weird videos he was sending them, where he would make fun of their looks.
Hey, pretty woman with a
intense teeth.
ask inappropriate questions,
And is it possible at your age that you're still a virgin, Maria?
and even make vulgar comments towards them.
Seeing your face and seeing you talk. Totally a boner in my pants, but I'm not going to show it.
This incident eventually became the final straw, turning Jeremy Fragrance from eccentric or chaotic to a full-blown creep. He's lost everything he had: his charm, humor, or even respect, and his recent numbers reflect that. Nowadays, Jeremy is considered a classic example of what happens when you sabotage your own career. People on the internet have speculated on why